magnificent morning this has been. Aaron Garrity, wasn't he amazing? So good. Anna Rosa, so good. The words of wisdom, so good. You know, I am here because of the persistence of two people. They called and they called and they emailed and they emailed and they emailed. When are you coming to Mexico? And I have to thank these two. It's because of their persistence. And I love persistence. And so I reward persistence. And so I said, yes, pick a date, and I'll come. And so here we are. And I'm so happy to be here. The beautiful smiles in Mexico. So wonderful. And the spirit that is here in this room. So great. Now, my understanding is that I am supposed to say something intelligent to you. And you are supposed to listen and take notes of what I say, right? So that our meeting here is worthwhile. Now, your presence here says a lot about you to me already. Everything that I say is going to be duplicatable. I'm giving this presentation to Roberto and Marie. They will have it, and so you can have it. You ask them, and you get it from them, and then they give it to you in your organization. I never sell anything, because I feel it's my responsibility to help you become 500K premiers. That's my job, is to help you get to that level. And so, this is for you, okay? Number one, learn how to really sponsor people. Don't just sign them up. Learn how to sponsor them. One of the greatest civilizations of this world happened not very far from here, called the Mayans. The Mayan civilization was far ahead of any other civilization in the world. They learned how to do brain surgery. They learned things about medicine, about human anatomy, that they're just trying to figure out today. They were such an advanced civilization. Thank you. Why? They learned how to use their time wisely because they were farmers. They weren't hunters. They were farmers. And by learning how to farm correctly, it gave them the time to spend on other areas. I remember traveling over there and seeing the great irrigation. How many have been over to see the ruins in the Mayan civilization over there? Cancun and that area. How many have been there? Yeah, I suspect just about everybody. And you see where they learned how to bring water through the rocks and how they created these tremendous farms. Contrast that to distant cousins, people, American Indians that were way before the white man ever came to the American continent, the North Americans, who were hunters, and they followed the herd and the buffalo around. And what did they contribute back? Not so much. But the Mayan population was amazing, fantastic. Now I want you to think about that in your groups. We were talking about that this morning with a future great leader that's going to be a great leader here in Zangwill. And we were talking about the difference between hunting and farming. Because when you truly learn how to sponsor someone, you learn how to farm them. You learn how to work with them. You develop them into the business. That's one of the great things about the Zangwill compensation plan, is that you cannot succeed unless your team succeeds. If you want to become, you 1Ks want to become 5K distributors, what do you need to do? You need to personally sponsor what? At least 3, 4, 5 1K distributors in order to become a 5K distributor. If you want to become a 20K distributor, what do you need to do?
5.
You need to help those same people that you've sponsored grow and become 5K distributors. And sometimes, you know, we water and we plant and we don't see any results and we get frustrated. But there's a human law of this earth that says if you continue to do that, it will grow. Eventually, you will see growth. And if you continue to water it and work with and train it, it will grow into a magnificent, whatever it's supposed to be. A tree or a seed or a bush. But it will grow. It's a natural law of this universe. Your job is to protect it. Keep the birds away, keep the weeds out, and help that person to grow. Now, there are some distributors that like to hunt and kill. They sponsor, or I should say, I use that term loosely. They recruit. But their organization goes away as fast as they're putting them in. Don't be like that. Learn the lesson of the great lions. Learn how to sponsor. That's number 1. Number 2, we can spend an hour on each one of these, but we don't have the time. We need to go through these. Don't sell product. When people say, I can't do this business because I can't sell product, you say, you don't have to sell product. Just share your story about what the product has done for you or someone that you know and trust. You just share a story. When we were very first starting this company, and the founders were putting it together, and they asked me if I would come on board and be their first distributor, I said, I don't know. I'm very comfortable where I am. I'm a senior executive in another very large company. I have 2 company cars, a Mercedes and a Lexus. I have a beautiful glass office in Pleasanton, California. I don't know if I want to be a new distributor for Zango and give all of that up and start with 0 income. And they said, well, just take a look. And so I knew about this company about a year before it started. And so I watched. I remember getting the first bottle of juice. I still have the bottle. It doesn't look anything like the bottles we have now. It's just like a milk bottle. And it had a label on it that just said, test wild flavors. It didn't even say Zango or Mangosteen, didn't have anything. And it came in a shoebox with duct tape. Strapping tape. That was the start of the very first product that I received. And I asked for more because I wanted to do a test with my family. And so we put the products, the bottles, in our refrigerator. And, you know, I still did not know if I wanted to do this. And I was, you know, working in my company. But I noticed that our bottles in the refrigerator would go down. And it was my son, my 17-year-old son. He was drinking the bottles. And I would say, wait, slow down. You're going too fast. This is like gold, you know. It's the very first bottles from there's not very much of this. We don't know when the next batch is going to come. And he would say, well, he wouldn't say anything. He would just say, okay, and we would put our name on the bottles. And then we noticed that our bottles began to go down very fast, and his bottle would stay full. So we said, okay, we know what you're up to, big guy. You know, you're drinking our product. He said, you know, it's helping my skin. And I thought, wow. We noticed 2 things right away. The first thing was that a teenager would drink the juice. There's some products out there that are so bad that you know, not even a baby will drink the juice. You know? But we found out that a teenager would drink the juice. The second thing was it was clearing up his skin. Now he was born with a little bit of eczema or eczema. He's had since a young boy. And in the dry winter months, it would get really bad. And doctors would prescribe a cortisone steroid cream to help. reduce the inflammation. And that completely cleared up. Now, it's been 7 years later, and he's still clear. His skin is clear. His eczema is gone because of the Zengo juice. Now, it took me 4 or 5 minutes to share that story with you, but it is more powerful than if I talk to you about xanthones, about chemicals, about, all the chemical structure that's in the juice. Just share your story. And until you get a story, just borrow mine or borrow your outline. Now, we have found through our surveys over now 6 years that 85% of people will experience a positive result with the Zengo juice after 90 days, 3 months. 85% of people will experience a positive result with the juice. We're discovering now that with Zengo's new product that's coming, X51, I'm sure you will have it here in Mexico someday. That we hope, with me. 85% of people are experiencing a positive result after 7 days. Wow. What is that going to do to your business? It's going to make it explode like it is in the United States. It's exploding X51. These are the kind of products that Zengo brings. So we just share the product story. We don't have to worry about selling. When people say, I can't sell, you're right. We don't sell. We just share our testimony of what the product does. The third commandment of successful network marketing. And this is learning how to participate in meetings, being involved in meetings. When you have a meeting, don't just come to a meeting. Bring someone. Bring a guest. Have some fun after the meeting is over. Go for ice cream or have a opportunity, get people involved. When we started doing meetings early on, and my congratulations again, this room is full. And, you didn't see all the sweat that was going on with Maria and Roberto before the meeting. Oh, are they going to come? Are we going to fill the room? Will we have enough? This is expensive. And Maria said, I just put my faith and trust in God that they'll come. And they're here. And we filled the room, which is wonderful. Make sure, yes, that you participate in meetings. Now, what we do when we have meetings is we give out a lot of assignments. We make sure everyone has an assignment. Now, maybe not a meeting this big. I'm talking about smaller opportunity meetings. For example, we'll make 25 assignments for the meeting. Now, we could do that all ourselves. Our little team could make sure that there's cups at the meeting for the Zengo juice, but we make an assignment for that. We can make sure that there's serviettes or napkins for the meeting, but we don't. We make sure that that's an assignment. Someone brings those. We can bring the juice, but we make an assignment for someone to bring the juice. We can bring the music, but we make an assignment for someone to bring the music. We can come early and make sure that the air conditioning is the right temperature, but we make an assignment to make someone come and make sure that the air conditioning is the right temperature. We can come and make sure the chairs are set up correctly, but we make an assignment to someone to make sure that they come to make sure the chairs are set up correctly. They're not all facing that wall, they're facing the stage. We could bring a laptop, but we make an assignment for someone to bring a laptop. We make 25 assignments, and we make sure we get at least 50 people to every meeting we have. Because everybody will bring a guest. Because they don't want to come to a meeting alone. So they bring someone. So learn how to participate and get your group participating in meetings. That's really important. Number 4, get out of your comfort zone. Okay? I'm going to sing for you today. Do I sing? No, I don't sing. Aaron Garrity sings. He's a singer. Isn't he marvelous?
Yes.
And the markets, all the women were crying.
Yeah.
We're all crying. All the women were crying. When I sing, everyone cries, even the men. Because it's so bad. Oh, stop. But I'm going to sing for you. Actually, I'm going to teach you a love song. It's a Hawaiian love song. And we're going to sing it.
Yes.
You know right now. Is that out of my comfort zone?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Do I sing publicly? No. I'm not even going to put music to it. I'm just sing without music. Is that out of my comfort zone? Absolutely. Why would I do that to myself? Because you have to. In order to grow. Last night we were talking about parachuting out of an airplane. That would be out of my comfort zone. To jump out of an airplane with a parachute on. But I know I'm going to do that someday. This last year I flew an airplane by myself. Solo. Dwayne Dyer, solo. On YouTube. Because the company filmed it. I think they filmed it in case something went wrong. They would have a record of it for the insurance. But I flew an airplane. Was I out of my comfort zone? Yes. I was scared to death. My knees were shaking. So I took off from the plane, and I thought, what am I doing? Can I really land this plane? I better, you know? So, get out of your comfort zone. I was here back in, when was it? March? When did we have the April? In March. And on the front row was a gentleman. I don't know if he's here in the room, but he was very emotional. And his whole family was with him. I don't remember his name. But his wife was speaking from the stage. Anybody remember who that was? His whole family was on the front row. Husband was crying. Big gentleman. Alexis.
Alexis, good.
And Alexis, I found out the reason why he was crying was because he was so proud of his wife. Because apparently his wife was very scared to speak in front of people. Some of you are sitting there saying, I could never get up on this stage and speak like this. Yes, you can. Some of you are saying, oh man, if Dwayne can do it, I know I can do it. And that's a good thing. Because yes, you can. You can speak in front of thousands and thousands of people. I know you can. It's within you to do that. That's the greatness of this industry. It teaches people how to grow. Number 5, learn how to get 5 people a day coming to you so that you don't always have to go out and always try and contact 5 people a day. Have 5 people a day come to you. How do you do that? You learn effectively how to mine people. Mining is like a copper mine. I think some of the great resources of Mexico came out of mines, gold mines, copper mines, nickel mines, great natural resources here in this great country. You learn how to mine people. Every person in this room has people that need to be in Zenga. They may not know it yet. You may not be interested. And I say to them, you're right. You're right. Maybe this business is not for you. See, I reject them as they're rejecting me. I just reject them. You're right. This business probably isn't for you. I find that a lot of times they'll back off and say, no, wait a minute. Don't, you know, what is it you're saying? Sometimes they turn back around. Sometimes they don't. And that's fine. And I say, but do you know anyone who might need our product or our business opportunity? Or do you have a friend, a relative, a parent that could use our juice? And I can go from the health angle, I can go from the money angle. In other words, I can learn how to mine someone. And before I leave that person, I have 5 or 6 people that I know I can talk to, with or without me. And if you do that effectively, you never run out of people to talk to. Every day, you're talking to someone. And that's the key to the business. There's no rocket science to this. It's just learning how to more effectively work those referrals. greatest networkers in this business average 2 new signups a month. The greatest money earners in this company average 2 signups a month. Can you do that? I was giving a presentation like this one time in Malaysia, and there was about 800 people in the room, and I asked this question. I said, if I get out my checkbook right now, and I write you a check for 100,000 US dollars, I can do that. I can take out my checkbook and write you a check for 100,000, this is a picture of Aaron. 100,000 US dollars. If you bring me 100 applications with an order by this date, what is today? The 28th? 29th? See, Dwayne can do this, anybody can do this. This is August 29th, 2009. By next year, August 29, 2010, if you could bring me 100 distributor application forms with an order by this time next year, could you do it?
Yes.
How many of you could do it? I bet just about everybody in this room could do it. Here's the fact. This is the fact. The greatest leaders in Zynga, almost all of them have sponsored less than 100 people. Do they make more than $100,000? Yes. Many of them make more than $100,000 a month. And yet they've sponsored less than 100 people. So what does that tell you? It tells you that you need to sponsor 2 people a month, consistently. And you need to work with them. You need to water them, and plant them, and help them to grow. Now some, the birds will get them. Some, the weeds will grow up. It's okay. You continue to get 2 new people a month into your business. Okay, number 6. Don't do anything that can't be duplicated by your organization. Remember that. Don't go off and do something that can't be duplicated. Because one of the hardest things in this business is to continue to keep it simple. It's a simple business. It does not take a lot of money in tools and other things. Yes, some tools are good, and you can use them for your business. But just keep it simple. The business is simply sharing a story to 2 new people every month. That's the business. Number 7. What is it? Siete? High school speak. Don't worry about making money, dinero, in this business. Instead, really focus on helping your team. There's a 100K premier there. His name is Ed Johnson. He was sponsored by Sherman Alcott. Ed Johnson went into a Chinese restaurant because he heard that Zynga was opening in Taiwan. And he asked the girl, who he thought was the waitress, if she'd ever heard of Zynga. And he just flipped it out of his pocket. And she said no. And he said, well, we're going into Taiwan. Do you know anybody who would like a business opportunity in Taiwan? That's what he did. And she said, I'm the owner of this restaurant. I hate my job. The restaurant is losing money every month. I am from Taiwan. My family loves network marketing. I will sign up. Catherine Shen is a 200K premier because Ed Johnson went into a Chinese restaurant and flipped one of these out of his pocket. That's as simple as it is. Okay, number 8. I think I'm reading that correctly in Spanish. Is talking about This is really, really, really important. This is about, Shane, what does that slide say? Oh, okay, yeah, thank you. You know, people drive me crazy when they join Zango and they say, let me teach you how to be a premier in Zango. And they're not at a 1K yet. And I say, buddy, you can come back and teach me how to be a 500K in Zango when you're a 500K in Zango, okay? Don't tell people how to do the business, just do it yourself and set the example. People ask me, Dwayne, you have 1.3 million distributors in your organization around the world. 1.3 million. When do you stop recruiting and just manage your business? And what do I tell them? Never. That's what I tell them, never. No. I am still sponsoring 2 people a month in my business. You've got to set the example. So you teach it by doing it. Number 9. 9. This is important. Don't think about being someday in a financially secure future. It's like a wish. You got to get your mind changed into a sense of urgency. You want it now. You want it today. You wanted this yesterday. You want to be a premier today. Some people, I had a person say to me in the room today, my goal is to be a 20K distributor by convention. I said, what rank are you? They said, a 1K. I said, take away the 20K for a minute. I want you to focus on being a 5K. That's your next goal. Because if I can put down, I want to be an X1 by convention next year. Wonderful. I can write it down. It's still a wish. I've got to want it today, now. How do I get to X1 now, today? How do I do that? That's how you want your organization to be. The most successful person in my organization, one of the most successful, early on, became premier. We all became premiers in 6 months in Zango. The whole group of us became premier in 6 months. This person came premier very fast. I said, how did you do that? And they said, it's very simple. I tell people, if they want to join my organization, I want them to sign up 2 people in 24 hours. Sure, wow, 24 hours? Sure, 24 hours. If they don't want to do that, that's great. They can go join your organization, or your organization. But if they want to join mine, they've got to shake my hand, look me in the eye, and tell me, I will sponsor 2 people for 24 hours. Now, was there any doubt why she was so successful? She set that as her standard. That was her organizational standard. Now, that's not everyone's. Some people are uncomfortable with that. Some people would say, well, just sponsor 2 people in your first month. That would be good, or your first week. Hers was 24 hours. I want you to sponsor 2 people. With my help, I'll help you. Get them on the phone, or let's go visit them. We're going to go put 2 people in 24 hours. Wow. See the difference? That's the difference. And the last one here. I spoke with Roberto Maria last night, and they're a great example of this. They're building a family. They're building relationships. They're building friendships. They are building something that they love. And that's the way it should be. I endorse that. That's how you build big, powerful companies. Companies that people can't steal away from you. See, people say, how do we protect our people from companies that are coming into Mexico? Or, how do I keep my group from being taken away? This is how you do it. You build something that's stronger because it's a relationship base. That's how you do it. Those are my 10 commandments of network marketing. They're yours now. You can take them to your organizations. You can use them.